Hey there, guys. I just want to take you guys on a little tour of the garden that we put in yesterday before I head out on my morning walk. So I just wanted to give you a quick look at my face before I show you the garden. The light's gonna probably be a little weird because it's in the morning and the sun is kind of out. Just gonna turn the camera around and get started. Okay, so I'm sure the lighting is probably not gonna be great today just because the sun's out, but the trees are kind of heavily blocking it. So these are the strawberries I got yesterday, and there's already several strawberries on it. So I'm thinking that the roots are pretty good. We'll just see how it goes. But technically, you would want to establish all that before you let the strawberries grow. But this year, we just bought everything from the nursery. And then just to keep it simple and easy, because we've taken a break for a while. So we're just kind of getting back into the groove of things. So we've done strawberries in the bed, but for right now, we're doing these in the pot because we filled up the beds with some other things. So I'm just going to take you over here, and we're doing raised beds because our soil is really hard. So the raised beds tend to make this, we can put our own soil mixtures in there, and they tend to do a lot better in the ground that we have. So these are zucchinis. And they came in a 6-pack, so we just did all zucchinis in this bed. And then our next bed is eggplants. I can't remember, Japanese eggplants. That's what they are. Now, we planted all this yesterday, and they look like they're doing pretty good. We were kind of concerned that since it was late in the evening or late in the afternoon, that it might be too hot and they might not look so great as they get transplanted. But it looks like they're doing okay, and these beds haven't been messed with in a couple of years. So we didn't even add more soil or anything to it. We just plopped them in there with whatever was there. So there was a lot of ants in this one, but it looks like they're doing fine for now. So I think they'll be okay. We left the drip line on last night so that it could saturate it pretty good, and it looks like it did really well. So on to the next bed. Now that bed, we took the drip line out because it was downhill, and then my husband never set it back up, so I'm not using that one. And then we have this one over here, and this one has tomatoes. So these two right here are going to be cherry tomatoes. These two, this one and this one, I think that's just a weed or some flowers. This is a big tomato, like a big boy tomato. And then these are okra that we seeded out a couple years ago. So maybe they'll make it, maybe they won't. I personally think my husband planted them a little too soon. Usually okra likes it really hot, so they should have been planted, more like next month. But, if they make it, they make it. If they don't, they don't. So that's what we have in this bed. This was what we covered our beds with when we weren't using them, just while we were letting it rest. And then these are yellow squash. So we did 6 yellow squash there. And you can see how the light is really coming off right now. So this side of the garden, like all of this backyard of ours, gets the morning sun. So it gets a nice good sun, but it's not like the hottest part of the day. Because here in Texas, it gets super, super hot in the summer and in the evenings or late afternoons. And then this bed, what is the best way so that you can see without too much of a shadow? So this one is going to have jalapenos and jalapeno peppers and banana peppers. I do believe, honestly, I don't know which ones he put where. So I'll just have to wait and see whenever they grow, because the pepper plants always look the same. Now, my favorite pepper plants are like the mini colorful ones, or just the colorful big ones. But I've planted the mini colorful ones straight from the store. Like we bought like a package of them, and I just saved the seeds and went straight into in the ground with them, and I've had them grow. But then I've had other times where they didn't do very well, so it just kind of depends on, I guess, if you get a good batch or not. So we could have some more room in here for some more, but having to seed them out, that's going to take a while, and then we may not get that much of a production. So we just went with already having everything ready to go and just, make it easy this year. So alrighty, that's going to take care of that garden tour, and I'm going to go take my walk. Okay, these are my husband's fig trees. So, or bushes, I guess. And then he's got another one right there. We already need to start getting out here and picking them. I know that the light is probably not great, so I don't know how well you can see. I'm trying to see if I can go really slow. And I probably should have turned the video the other way instead of long ways. Okay, so there's tons. I know it's really hard to see on camera, but they're like, see all those red ones. But then there's like, if you look way in the back in the shadows, you can see the black ones. You do have to be careful of snakes. We do live where you could run into snakes. Usually, the only ones we run into that are super dangerous, I guess, if you get bit, is a copperhead. But I mean, usually we're pretty aware of that. So there's some other ones on my path whenever I go for my walk, so I'll record those too. But we have a whole, like, it goes all the way down to that fence line right there. So it goes all the way down to the edge of that, and there's cats moseying around. There's a bunch of them, but all the way down to that fence. So we've got that whole row here. Behind there, there's a whole section on the other side. So we almost have a path in there, but not quite. We kind of just end up stepping on all of them. So there's that. Way out there's our old chicken coop. We haven't done chickens in a while. So we're just figuring out what we want to do there. So anyways, I'll show you the rest of the berry patches that we have as I go for my walk. Hey guys, so I was just talking to you guys about, you know, running into snakes when we berry pick. And sure enough, on my morning walk, I have encountered my first snake of the season. So it's springtime here, so it's probably like 70, 80 degrees. I don't know exactly. But there he is. I don't know if you can see him very well. My shadow might be in the way. I don't want to startle him too much. I'm pretty sure he's a grass snake. He's long and skinny. I'm pretty sure he's a garden snake. So, anyways, I'm coming up to that berry patch. I'm going to try not to walk too terribly fast, but I can't tell what the camera can see because the sun is really bright. So my phone screen is really glary. So this is that patch that I showed you at a distance earlier. And I'm going to try to get close without getting too close, because I already ran into snakes this morning. I don't know if you can see what I can see. It's hard to say. But there are already some black ones on here. We probably need to come out and get those. There's probably not like a super amount. Maybe there's more than I think once we get to digging around. But we usually try to get them when there's like quite a bit. We can fill up a bucket load, and then I just freeze them and make cobblers for the year. That way we have enough for the whole season and then some. But it goes all the way. It's a pretty good spread. It goes all the way down. So all that big patch right there, that's all berries right there. Of course, now the phone wants to focus on my finger. So I'm sorry, I'm probably turning that weird. But you can see, they're just like big patches. And then there's another patch that keeps going right there. So I'm trying to, I don't know how slow I need to walk yet to get it on camera without making everybody sick and where you can actually see. Because sometimes people go too fast and then you can't get a chance to see it. I guess you can pause if you need to. But there's a big patch. And you can see it goes all the way back over there. And then you can see the other next to that tree line, and the road curves around, and you can see that other patch right there. So I'm going to walk down to that patch, and then I will show you that one as well. Okay, so here's the next patch. I'm a good distance away from it on the road, but I'm going to walk up to it here in just a sec. Now this patch has been here for a very long time. It's probably one of our main patches that we get stuff from. So it's always been just along this little, it's not even a hill, but it's just like a ditch, I guess. It's where they built up the road, and then it hits the field, but it kind of slopes down. If you can see how it slopes down out there. And this is all berries. But it's gotten to where it's grown all the way out this way. It's kind of hard to tell because there's a lot of grass. But honestly, we could come out here and pick some. I still don't know if there'd be a bucket load. I mean, I can see a few black ones on top here and there, but you really don't know until you get knee deep in it and you're really trying to pick them. But you have to be careful because, you know, this is definitely, you know, thorns and thistles. So, like God said, you're going to work for your food. This is definitely work, because you're going to have to get around all the thorns and thistles. So, one of my tricks is to buy one of those, I'm not sure if the dollar store still sells them, but a long time ago, the Dollar Tree used to sell these back scratchers that had these little fingers on them. Like kind of the front, it had like a little grip on them, and it had spaces between it, and it was kind of curved. And that is what I use to separate the vines from each other so that I can pick. You also want to always be careful of poison ivy. I don't know if you guys can see all those black ones over there. Now sometimes the cows will get in here when it's their turn, and then they will mow them down before we ever get to them. So you have to really be on top of it. But you can maybe see some of those black ones, and they don't get too much bigger than that. I mean, there's obviously bigger varieties, but these are wild, so you know, it is what it is. But we have a bunch of other random patches in different places, but these are the main places we get them from. Usually supply enough for us for all of the season that we're currently in, all throughout the summer and into the next year. So honestly, I still have some in the freezer right now that I didn't use from last year. So we really got a lot. And once I feel like we've gotten enough, you know, we just stop picking. The animals get them. Anyways, that's what I'm seeing on my morning walk, which is making me kind of feel like I should skip the walk and made the kids come out and help me pick berries. But I think we'll give it another day or two.